What's up, world? Your boy is back. Your boy, the nonprofit sector connector. 162 episodes into an idea that I thought about and talked about and then didn't do anything about. Don't do that to yourself. The show is called Philanthropy and Focus. I do this show every Friday morning. I help nonprofit leaders tell their story and amplify their message. And I think it's critically important that we focus, whether you spell that with a PH, like I spell focus, or whether you spell it the old way with an F. I think it's important that we focus on the incredible work that nonprofits do each and every day. Listen, there are millions of organizations in this country. There are organizations that have very, very large budgets that do incredible work and make incredible impacts. And there are medium-sized organizations. And then there are small organizations that have to raise funds just to make their programs work, that are fully run by volunteers, that don't have any staff that's being paid. And each of these organizations, large or small, make an incredible impact. In your communities, there are these nonprofits, and I'd encourage you, as I do as often as I can, get out there and volunteer, get out there and commit, get out there and connect with your nonprofit organizations. And if you can't figure out where to do some volunteer work with a nonprofit, reach out to your boy, Tommy D. Send me an email, Tommy D at philanthropyandfocus.com, PHOCUS. Hit me up on Instagram. I like Instagram, although I did remove it from my phone the other day because I realized I couldn't get off of watching Instagram. So it'll come back. It'll come back, but it's been removed from my phone for about 4 days, and I've gotten so much more done when it's not on my phone. But send me TommyD.NYC. I promise I'll probably put Instagram back on my phone tonight. Anyway, listen, let's connect on that type of stuff. If I can be a resource and make those connections to nonprofits, I'm happy to do so. Talk about connections. Let me say hello to my guests, and then I'll rant a little more, and then we'll get into the show. Hello, Trisha Ewald. Hello, John Ammirati. What's going on?
How are you, Tommy?
This is it. Good morning. How are you both today?
Very well.
Doing great.
Yeah. Awesome. So let me talk about connecting. Let me talk about networking. So I entered into a new business venture just this year with two partners. The company is called the Philanthropy Network of New York. And what we do is we create volunteer opportunities for businesses and their employees to connect with the nonprofit sector. And it was so on brand for what I do and what I'm all about. And I just tell you that to give you some information about it. If you want to connect with me, we could talk more, gang, and I'll share it with you. Look on my LinkedIn. We'll get something out there. Well, I bring it up because one of our friends, my two partners, Liz and Kim, we have this friend, Rob, and Rob was being honored by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Long Island. So I'm at this Big Brothers Big Sisters of Long Island event. The typical Tommy D stuff, right? Networking, connecting, schmooze, meet some new friends. And I meet this man, John, and John is telling me what he's doing, and he sort of didn't tell me really what he does professionally, like as a business person, but was more focused on this organization's blessing at Longwood Blessings in a backpack. And I go, it's funny you should say that because I'm the nonprofit sector connector, which is a funny thing to say when you say it, because when I say it, because I made it up. But it is a badge of honor that I wear very seriously. And when I say it to people, some people laugh and they go, oh, wow, you're the nonprofit, like as if they were looking for the nonprofit sector connector. And now they have found him. But what's funny to me is this platform that I have, Philanthropy and Focus, the nonprofit sector connector, has given me an opportunity, endeared me to certain people, because right away I know what they're talking about when they're talking about nonprofits. And I mentioned at the front of the show, some organizations have millions of dollars and hundreds or thousands of employees, and some of those right here on our own island, the Long Island, have big organizations. And then there are other organizations that are doing incredible work on the front lines that don't have those resources. And I want to support all of them, but I gotta be honest with you, I want to support the one more focused on the grassroots work that's going on. So John and Trisha, what I'd like to do is start with the conversation around how you got connected to this organization, the history of the organization, and some of your backgrounds together. So Trisha, you want to start, and John will jump into the conversation as we go through it.
So I just want to say again, thank you so much for having us. This is a really amazing opportunity to be able to share the work that we do with the community and your audience. That's really great. So how I learned about Blessings in a Backpack, it is a national organization. I take pause because I'm trying to wear two hats sometimes. So it's a national organization I learned about it through a talk show that I was watching back in the day. It was 2013. And the whole mission is to be able to provide weekend food for kids. Like it doesn't get more simple than that.
Well,
So
let me stop you for a second because we're
sure.
gonna get into all the details and stuff. I want to understand something. You're watching a program, right? What, like this 60 Minutes? Was it on News 12? Like what was
Queen
it?
Latifah, Queen Latifah.
Oh, I'm really glad I asked. I didn't. So well, hold on. So you're watching is why did she have a talk show, Queen
She
Latifah?
had a talk show for about 30 seconds back in the day, and there was a check presentation, and I just happened to be flipping channels. It caught my eye, and I paid attention. So
First of all, I did not know. I'm a big hip hop fan. You know, I was born in '78, so grew up in the '90s. Um, Queen Latifah had a talk show. Didn't even know about it. What was it about the program and what she was talking about that?
So, when the ticker goes across the bottom, it said something about blessings in a backpack. And so the name just caught my eye. I consider myself a spiritual person. And I was like, oh, what is that? So I just got curious. And then she did a check presentation. It was like, a 10-minute segment on her show. And then she explained what the organization was and the person who was out in Wisconsin or Wyoming. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And it was I was just blown away
That's
away at the whole concept.
shout out to Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah, you ever
Yeah.
come on Tommy D's show and talk about nonprofits, talk about hip hop, or just talk? That'd be fun. That'd be a cool show. Queen Latifah and Tommy D. But so isn't that great? Isn't that special? Like, isn't that what we're all about? Curiosity. You talked about curiosity and you saw something. I will tell you this. This is the truth. Well, most things I say are the truth, but this one, I remember the curiosity way before I realized. Shout out to my people who found out late in life that you had ADHD. I'm one of them. But way before I realized that I had this thing, this beautiful brain, as my coach Joe calls it, Coach Joe, shout out to Joe, the beautiful brain of ADHD. I would watch television with my iPad next to me because, first of all, I couldn't do one thing, but I had to be doing two. But I would, if something came up, if I saw a Latifah giving a check to Backpack Blessings, I would have been Googling that right away. Like on now, this is even before like our phones were as cool as they are. I'm going back to like where the
Right.
iPad was like the move.
Right.
Now you don't even need to do anything because you got a computer in your pocket, right? That to me though is that's a blessing in itself, Trisha, because you were connected to something that now has, and you said you wear two hats.
Yeah.
So you're wearing back and forth, but it's two hats. Maybe it's the front and back of the same hat, maybe.
Oh, I love that. Thank
Right?
you.
Because it's on the same brand. So I want to get into those two hats in a second, but I want to just have John introduce himself and his connection to this. And if I'm not standing, this I believe in, right? You don't see the Queen Latifah thing that was like maybe she had 2 episodes of the show and you caught one of them, right? And then sorry, Latifah, I just thought maybe it wasn't a long run. I might have known about it if it was only longer.
I think it was 6 months.
I've done 162 shows on this program, man, so, but I don't have to answer to anybody. I pay it myself. It's a little bit of a different deal. Even when I met John, and I do this a lot, when I meet somebody, I go, that's incredible story. That's an incredible organization. Would you like to come on my show? And then I go, let me just check with the board. And I look away for 2 seconds and I come back and I said, we're good. We all agree because I am the board. I'm the whole thing. And when you make all the decisions, they talk about the golden rule, like treat others how they want to be treated. The other golden rule is the one who has the gold makes all the rules. So in this scenario, I get to make all the rules. So I said to John, it would be awesome to feature this story on the program. And that's how we got there. So John, why were you at Big Brothers Big Sisters that night? What and how did you get connected to the organization?
So Big Brothers Big Sisters, I have a good friend, Don Levine, who you know.
That's
Yes.
my buddy. That's my guy.
Your buddy.
Right.
And he invited me, and I was very interested because it was at Top Golf. And we had just been there a couple of weeks before looking at maybe that's a good site for a fundraiser for us.
Oh.
So now we had a chance 2 weeks later to actually see how a fundraiser was done at Top Golf and, what the possibilities were. So I was there just hanging out with Don and his friends, and you came by and boom.
That's right.
That was
that's what was funny about it. Sorry to interrupt. What was funny about that part too is you and I met before Don had gotten there, and you and I were chatting it up. And then later on, like you're like, oh, there's my friend who invited me. And you point over, I go, that's Don Levine. That's my guy. So like I know Don for a lot of years from the Health and Business Alliance. And it's just what a small world. I mean, as long as this island is, I make a joke there, as long as this island is, there's so many people that are so connected and know each other. But I will tell you, people go, oh, Tommy D knows everybody, which is so not true. I know a lot of people. A lot of people probably know me, but I love to walk into a room when I know very few, or if not, and it happens a lot. I gotta be
Yeah.
honest. I go into a room and I don't know everybody, or I don't know anybody. That's the best one, where I don't know anybody, because then whatever ego issues I have sort of has to get in check, because I can't just be arrogant Tommy D, because these people don't even know who this clown is, right? So that's a whole nother. I was floored by reading the information on your website. Why was I floored? Why am I shocked? I mean, I just did some research right before we started the show. There's 333 million people that live in this country. 37 million of those people face food insecurity. That's higher than 10% of the country. This is the United States of America, and I don't care about lines and borders, and let's not get into any of that stuff right now, because on this planet, I am disgusted that on this planet, anyone should go without food or not be secure about if they have access to food. So forget the border lines and all this stuff. And now you if you don't like me, because now this is a political thing. It isn't political. I'm not making this political. This is one planet, one race of human beings, gang. No one should be without food. This is ridiculous. I don't curse on the show. Tommy D, don't say this is bullshit. All right, I just said it. But this is bullshit, that this is a real what we're dealing with. It doesn't work. Okay, so then you take that to this, this empire that has all these resources and all this money and beautiful things. And what always got me crazy was, let's go into Manhattan. Let's play. Let's play. Let's get on the Long Island Railroad and take the train into New York City and go get a steak. Get a steak. I don't know what a Kobe steak cost, $150 or something like that, right? And there's a man or a woman and a child not 20 yards away eating out of a trash can. What is going on? What are we doing? That is not any sort of significance as a society when that is what goes on. All right. I'm not going to change all the situations today on this program, but it's organizations like this organization that's here today that are changing the world and are making an impact, specifically as it affects our young people. So I'm cranky. Friggin' deal with it. You all showed up. You wanted to pay attention to this. You know why? Because we're changing the world. Because the organizations I hang out with are changing the world each and every day. So, Trisha, I want you to jump in. A couple weeks ago, I did an event with the Rotary Club out here where I live, right? And we packed these food bags where you pack the rice, and then you do the beans and the flavoring, the seasoning, and all. We packed 15,000 meals that day in like 2 hours. Like, incredible when you put a community of people together to do it. I want to ask you, we are going to go to break in about a minute, but I want to ask you quickly, how did you get involved with this organization? You saw the Queen Latifah thing and the whole deal, but what was the first move? How did you get started?
So it means so much to me because I was a hungry kid. So I knew that I had to do whatever I had to do, because now when I see this show, I'm a grown adult. I'm not a hungry kid anymore. I can be the kid that I can be the woman that the kids need, the one that I needed when I was a kid. So I approached the school district. I called a friend. I did the research on the national website. I just made the commitment and I started fundraising immediately, started buying food. Within 6 months, we were delivering 50 backpacks to kids at Longwood.
Why did you know, though, or did you know, without seeing this piece that was done on the TV show, did you know that the Longwood district, and we'll talk about the district and what it represents in a little while, but did you know that, did you have an awareness? Is that where you grew up? Maybe
Yeah, so I grew up in the neighboring district, which is William Floyd. And so, the socioeconomic platform here is pretty similar across this part of the island. So, it's got pockets of poverty like every community, but
Yeah.
there's probably averaging about 50% of this entire area is about poverty, where the kids would lean into free and reduced lunch. So I was aware of that
50%?
statistic just for being
50%. 50%.
Yeah.
So if it's not you, it's me. If it's not me, it's you. Well,
Right.
every other person,
Right.
every other child,
Right.
in this
Yeah.
district.
And I just want to throw out a statistic. We estimate, you said 37 million people across the nation, 13 million of them are children. Hungry.
13 million.
13 million hungry children we've
in
identified.
in this country, right? In this country, the whole glitz and the glamour, and we got it all, and the Grammy Awards and hip hop music and Beyonce and Jay-Z and right, and everybody's got glitz and glamour and buy the new sneakers and buy the new car because you're not enough, gang. So you need all this crap
Mm.
that Madison Avenue wants to sell you, but 13 million children don't have enough to eat. That's
On the
tragic.
weekends.
On the weekends.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. John, show me your shirt. Who will feed the kids this weekend? I will. I love that. Speaking of which, we need to get Tommy D some swag. We'll work it out. Let's work it out behind the scenes because I like to wear. I don't know if you have any hoodies, but we got to get some hoodies because although it's getting warm out, I like a nice hoodie, pair of shorts on a crisp like spring night. Just if you want to know, and flip flops. Why are you telling us about your fashion sense, Tommy D? Because you guys showed up. You punched your ticket. Welcome to the show. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Philanthropy and Focus. John, Trisha, and Tommy D. Right back.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy and Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
What a cute song. What a great show this is. I love what I do.
That's so fun.
Isn't that fun? Oh my goodness. Shout out to Brendan Levy. I call him Uncle Brendan, Queens Chamber of Commerce, lead singer of Damaged Goods. If you ever want to see, they play cool music from the late 80s, the 90s. They were a band back in the day called The Goods, but now since they're old men, they call themselves Damaged Goods, which I love to tell that story because I think that's hysterical. So we'll have to go out. They play at Docks out in was Atlantic Beach, Island Park over there, Island Park. All right. Anyway, we're not here to promote the Damaged Goods right now. We're here to talk about. Listen to this, gang. Listen to this situation. Back in, I'm a little history lesson that I'm pulling right off of the website longwoodblessings.org. The National School Lunch Act was signed by President Harry Truman in 1946. Research shows that participation in school lunch programs reduces food insecurity, improves dietary intake, positively impacts health and obesity rates, and by meeting children's nutritional needs leads to a better learning environment. Yeah, of course. How do you go to school and try and learn and pay attention when you have hunger pangs? How you don't? That doesn't work. Come on, man. Some of this stuff. All right. So my friend Trisha asked me to ask her a question. So I was going to say, it's funny because in 2005, there was a teacher named Missy Hammerstrom who came up with this concept of blessings in a backpack. Trisha, who is Missy?
So small correction, she wasn't a teacher. She's actually a lawyer. And no, I actually spoke with her daughter recently and learned that correction. Okay. So she's Missy was, sadly she's passed now, was volunteering. So the power of volunteering, Tommy, right? She was volunteering, shadowing in a school, working with kids as I think she was working for a law firm at the time, and she was in a school and was spending the day with the kids. So when she was spending there eating lunch, the one child said to her, it was a little girl, she said, "Are you going to eat your apple?" And she said, I don't know, probably not. Why? She said, "Can I have it?" And she said, "Sure. Why do you need my apple?" She said, "So I have something to eat this weekend." Missy went home. Yeah, yeah, that's the difference. So school lunch is great, but what do the kids do over the weekend? So Missy went home that night, cleared out her garage, went to the local Walmart, bought backpacks, filled them with food, and with the help of the staff at the school, identified the kids who would best benefit and be able to take those backpacks home. So that's how Blessings in a Backpack was born. And I love that. I absolutely love. And so our whole organization, I would say, I don't know the right data or statistics, but I would say close to 90% of our people, we reach 90,000 children every single weekend through the national organization.
So there's, okay, so that's where your two hats, or what I made up.
Yes, yes.
1.5 hats, or
Yes.
however many hats. But like, so you are our representative here on Long Island for Longwood Blessings, right?
I am.
Excuse me, Longwood Blessings and Backpack. And you're also on the leadership team nationally, or programmatic team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm on the program team, and I oversee about 100 volunteers that work with about 10,000 children up and down the East Coast into the Midwest.
So let me understand this. So are we more talking about a supplement to the school lunch, meaning a supplement for the weekend, or are we talking about a combination? Like, talk to me again. Nobody knows this better than you programmatically. So tell me what this looks like. And then I want to hear from John. John's one of those 100 volunteers that you're dealing with, right? And he's all these different markets up and down the East Coast. So I want to hear what that feels like. By the way, John, just tell me when you need me. I mean,
No problem.
You know what I mean? We're gonna make no, I mean, when you need me to come out to do this thing with you, like, I'm there. Like, that's already done.
We'll figure out a date for sure.
I'm crying right now. So we need you to talk. So, and don't look at me. Look at other people. But I'm visually, I'm screwed up from this right now because this is not right.
Yeah, what, Tommy? That was
because we're fixing it, though. Just one
right.
second.
What absolutely we're fixing it. Absolutely. Right. So I couldn't be happier, but I will be quite honest. When I first started to volunteer with Blessings back in 2013, I couldn't tell the story without weeping. I really couldn't, because not just the Missy story, which is near and dear to my heart, because I was the kid asking for the apple, but now I'm an adult and I can make a difference and impact in my own community, and I want to give back. And so it just became really important to me, really important. And so when you have a heart for giving, whether it's for the cancer or saving the horses or feeding the puppies or whatever it is that you're doing, like, your heart is your heart, so we're all coming from that same perspective, and it starts with volunteers. That's what my whole point was. It's like, so yes, I work for the organization, but quite honestly, I don't have a job there if it's not for the thousands of volunteers that work with us every single day, so that
you can't manage volunteers if there's no volunteers to manage, baby. That's just what it is. Well, you're right. What do you do? Well, I manage programs and volunteers, but we have no volunteers. We have no program. Well, sorry, we have no Trisha either. But isn't that critically important? Because like I said at the beginning of the show, there's many organizations that have hundreds or thousands of employees, but most organizations have to have a volunteer army, and then there's some that only have a volunteer army. So take it from there. Yeah.
We're really invested to, not just to, there's several programs on Long Island, and we're invested, like, with my national hat on, I'm really invested in making that grow. So every time.
Which part grow? You mean the Long Island piece?
Absolutely, because it's, so personally, I have a team that does the Longwood, fund, but then there's also Dix Hills, and there's Half Hollow Hills is a program. There's another program at Islip now. There's a program at William Floyd School District. There's a program at Springs District. There's a program all the way out in Port Washington. So there's volunteers that are really trying to make a difference, and we need to connect more of those dots and help them grow.
I want to talk more about that, how we could do that, today, and then also when we're not on live, we can really strategize. The thing is, though, it's interesting. Some of the neighborhoods you say, you mentioned Port Washington. Now, I love Long Island with this comment I'm about to make, because right next to Garden City and $2 and $3 and $4 million homes is Hempstead. And when I say like not right next to, gang, for you who are not Long Island geographically inclined, I mean, you walk down a block and all of a sudden when you're in Hempstead, so let me give you more context. What does that mean? You have like very severe extreme poverty in certain parts of Long Island, like we're talking about, right next to and you mentioned Port Washington. So Port Washington has pockets, right? You have Sands Point, right? For you all who we're talking big mansions, like, I don't know if there's hundreds of them up there. There's a lot, right? That are multi-million-dollar homes. And then there's a pocket right in the same neighborhood, down the road a piece, as they say. I wouldn't really say that here. I think they say that down the in South, just down the road a piece. But down the road a bit is this poverty and food insecurity and all these, not only food insecurity, right? They don't have access to healthcare in some of these occasions, and have to find different things and the resources. Again, this is the stuff that makes me so angry. But I guess I have
They're
to.
out there though, and the
But I
more
have to find that, Trisha. Help me, because I have to
yeah,
find
the more
reality.
the resources are out there, Tommy D. The more we talk about it, I want to give John an opportunity to talk about how he found us and decided on us, because I think that's really impactful.
Please. Yeah, John, take it away.
Okay, great. So a good part of the last 20 years, I spent 5-6 days a week managing a real estate office. And when it came time to stop, which I was not unhappy to do, I found myself with time now that I could give back, and I didn't want to fill the time with making more money. That didn't make any sense to me. So I started looking, and believe it or not, it took me a year to find Blessings. All kinds of different organizations, and nothing. It was just kind of strange. I guess it was because I was supposed to be at Blessings. So I live in a community, a beautiful gated community called Birchwood at Spring Lake. And a whole bunch of ladies have been very faithful volunteers for many years. And one of them, Lorraine Baker, put an ad in our newsletter. And our newsletter is like 20 pages printed, delivered to every house.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And I looked at the ad and it said, Blessings in a Backpack. We need volunteers. Call. So I called Lorraine and she said, why don't you come down every Tuesday at 3:00? We pack. Why don't you see what we're about? So I went and I packed, and obviously it blew me away. And then the next week I came back, and this is really the crux of it.
Sorry.
It's okay. One of the things we put in every bag almost every week is mac and cheese. We're going to move away from that probably, but that's not the point. The point is the lady who was in charge of inventory, the second week I was there, said, this week we can't do mac and cheese. We're going to run out of money this year. And it was like, no, you're only putting 6 things in a bag.
What is the bag? Break the bag down for me, John, so people.
So typical bag is mac and cheese, ravioli, 2 soups, a tuna, a Belvita, an oatmeal, and sometimes a fruit bar.
Okay.
So I went up to Trisha and I said to her, this is not acceptable to me.
Yeah. Next
week you're putting the mac and cheese in and I'll take care of the money.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
How many bags? Thank you for that, John. How many bags were you packing that like, I'm not trying to be like a jerk, but like it didn't cost a lot to get some more mac and cheese, right? It wasn't like a heavy lift.
No, it is a heavy lift because it's 500 a week.
500 a week. Okay, so it is a heavy lift. So so John, you said I got the mac and cheese now.
Right.
So now what it would have been like is no mac and cheese, which is a meal. That's one of the meals that this young person would have throughout the weekend. Okay. Right. So do we still put mac and cheese in every single week now?
Absolutely. Although the national is changing, we're probably going to move to something else.
500 bags a week. 500. Is it hold on, let's go back, because is it a new backpack every week too?
No, we use paper bags because it's
Okay,
just
good.
not, we weren't getting them back. It wasn't.
No, and that's money that shouldn't be spent on.
Oh, we also though try to give them a backpack each year.
I'm
One
sure you
backpack.
do. I'm sure you do, because in late August and September, that's probably filled
Right.
with what they need at that point in the
Exactly.
calendar year. All right, so let's go back. So we're packing. We have to go to break in a second, but this is part of the show. It's like, it's Logan. Just wait. We'll go to break. I already- yeah. So we'll go to break in a sec. John, thank you for meeting me in that place at the golf place, where I didn't play any golf that night, by the way. And so if you're going to use it for a fundraiser, it's a cool place to do a fundraiser. But if you're going to play golf, I was too distracted meeting new people and talking to people. And that might be my own thing, and people might be laughing about, that's what you always do, Tommy D. But that's true. But I'm taken by the fact that Lorraine Baker puts this thing in the newsletter. Did you know Lorraine Baker already?
Not really.
No, so you didn't know her, right? But now, for the last, how many years are you connected to you? A year and a half, 2 years?
Just 2 years.
Just
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah, and Trisha Ewald, what is the impact that John has made in being connected to this
Oh,
organization?
incredible. So he fiscally, we're in a different place because of John's effort, because of his passion, because of his connections. It's just amazing, because I think at some point, like all volunteers, we, use all of our resources, and sometimes we just exhaust those resources.
Yeah.
Or our resources get exhausted.
Sure.
And so when he just came in at the perfect time that, we were 8 years old. And I'm looking at reducing, because of food costs going up. I'm looking at reducing what goes in a backpack. So I was devastated.
Of course you were devastated. We got to go to break. We'll go in a second. Here's the deal. Of course you were devastated, because the work you're doing is changing lives. And then all of a sudden go, we got to kind of cut this back a little bit. Cut this back.
Right.
Whole
Because
freaking
it really does. We can end on this note. End on this note. When a kid gets to Monday, they're behaving, they're fed, they're ready to learn. Everything is different when they have food in their belly. When kids don't have food in their belly and they get to Monday, it takes until Wednesday with free school lunches and breakfast to get balanced again nutritionally and with hunger. So it really does make a difference. We're making a huge impact.
I love it. Oh my God. I want to be there on a Tuesday afternoon. Is this going every Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, John, I'll be there with you. Trisha, I'll be there with you. We gotta, and what I'd love to do is, I mentioned at the beginning of my show today, one of my new ventures is the Philanthropy Network of New York. And I think we should probably figure out with my two partners a way we can do something together, as a bag packing thing. This is my life, gang. I get to hang out with people changing the world. Some people want to hang out with hedge funds. Some people want to make the world a better place. It's all your choice. I only got 50 years left, and I've been saying that for 3 years. So I guess I found the fountain of youth. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business, or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
And we are back. I just wanted to sing to you. My daughter was singing last night, and I mentioned that I was in chorus in the 7th and 8th grade because before I went to Chaminade, I was in public school here on Long Island, and you had to take a music. So I guess you had to take like either play an instrument, which I didn't want to do, or you had to be in like a music theory class, or you had to be in chorus. So I was explaining to them we had sang or sung. Well, I'm not sure if it's sang or sung, but we did it, and it was a song. Must have been love, but it's over now, right? I'm singing this. It was also putting on the Ritz. We had to do this in the 7th grade, and I was singing this last night. And my daughter had just had NISMA the other night, and she's like, no go, man. And my wife goes, my wife says to my daughter, she goes, you didn't get your singing talent from him. And that's love. That's love. I was sharing during the break the website. Go to longwoodblessings.org, longwoodblessings.org. There's a casino night coming up Friday, May 3rd, which is sold out, right? That's awesome that it's sold out. That being said, gang, we'll still take your money if you want.
We still
Right.
need sponsors.
Sponsorship.
Still need sponsorships. We still need sponsorships. How about this? 500 elementary school students in the Longwood School District get these meals on the weekends. For $200 donation, that will feed the child for the weekends for the entire year. $200. A kid gets food for the entire year. Or how about this? Set it up as $22 a month, right? So we wanted to talk about that, Trisha. Talk to me about it. I totally stole your thunder a little bit there because I was
You're
sharing.
good. You're good. I'm going to give this one to John. John, go
John,
ahead.
take it away, Johnny A. Let's go.
So, big donations are important to us, but really our bread and butter are smaller donations. And, the local Boy Scout troop doing a food drive for us, school district doing a food drive for us, several of the gated communities in here helping us, really great. But we wanted to find a way that could connect people to sort of sponsor a kid for a year.
Yeah.
And that's why we came up with this $200 or $22. And we don't have that many people doing it yet. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people. But we just started it, I'd say 6 months to a year ago. And, there's only so much hours in the day to do things. So we keep pushing that, and it would make a big difference. If we had 500 people doing it, then we can move on to other fundraising for bigger things.
Yeah, I like that. And unfortunately, we're not going to run out of need, even here on Long Island, it seems like, right? So we can, Trisha, you mentioned there's other, excuse me, correct me if I'm wrong, other districts and other communities that have a similar need and already have some programs.
There are some. Island Harvest has said that there are 65,000 food insufficient children on Long Island.
65,000 babies. I mean, Trisha just hit me in the chat and said, I want to help feed more babies. 65,000 of our babies are not, and I don't mean infants, gangs. I mean 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids that are expected to go to school hungry. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I didn't want to get this bad today, but I'm frustrated. Like, my head doesn't wrap around this one very well. It doesn't, because I go back to, and this is the story I always say, and listen, gang, I don't have the answers. So it's not like I have this thing figured out. I'm just pissed off about it. I want to help figure it out, but I'm not like so arrogant that I know how to fix it, but it seems like what we're talking about is not so difficult. I don't have something and you do have something. That sounds like an accessibility issue. And yes, there's dollars involved. I understand there's dollars involved. So I'm not being so like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, Pollyanna and the whole, no, I'm not saying that, but we're talking about some basic fundies here. This is fundamental stuff. Like, I don't know. Somebody else say some words, because I'm just going to start yelling.
Right. No. So what you're absolutely saying, Tommy, is accurate, but all it takes is one person. Like, so me saying, I want to do something. And then me calling my friend Becky and saying, we have to feed the babies. I couldn't even read through the website without being absolutely hysterical. Because it hurt my heart. And, and then I go on to schooldigger.com and I find out the statistics at my local school. And then I call the school and I find out, how can we help? Can we help? If we do the shopping, if we do all the fundraising, can we drop off backpacks every single week? Can we have your permission, your blessing, pun intended,
Yeah.
to do that, right? And they were like, yes, and so the reality is they're already so taxed. So I wanted to make it, on a personal note, my team, I wanted to make it so that when we show up on a Friday, their commitment is to identify the children and then distribute the bags, which is huge, right?
Is that actually so?
To be able to do that.
Yeah, so you're asking, and I don't think you're wrong for asking it, but you're asking this, like you just said, overtaxed district, right, of professional, whether they be, administrative staff, teaching staff, guidance staff, security staff, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, Trisha, we know we got an issue here, and we're actually trying to run a school here. So, I can't imagine the number of educators, though, that go into their own pocket. I
They
think
do all the
I would
time.
be-
It's
I wouldn't be able
amazing.
to do this every week. I'd be like, okay, I got to
Yeah.
do this because
It's time, it's time, it's money, it's energy. Like, and the school meets us 100, the whole district meets us 110% on that every single week. It's just incredible. We even are so blessed to have a dedicated space that we can have our, things, we can store things so that we can pack them on a regular schedule, have guests come in, pack with us. It's been incredible. So each district that I encounter, same thing. There's giant hearts who just want to help.
Can we do a thing? I'm just going to ask you. If you tell me no, it's going to be embarrassing. So you're probably going to have to say yes.
I'll say yes. Yes, Tommy D.
Look at how I
Yes,
do this. This is how
problem.
I do it. It's my show. It's my show. So here's the thing. Can we do a food packing event where I come by and we like record and make a big deal?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, that's not even a fake yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
That's
not
good.
even a fake yes. I would have given you a fake yes, Tommy D, but I didn't need to on that one. But that would be super fun because maybe we do like an Instagram live or a Facebook live or whatever, or link.
Perfect.
Doesn't matter. Maybe it's like a live show that we do this there and we just hang out and pack. I don't know.
Great.
Because that to me is what my mission is. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Is this? I love this platform, and I love the other platform where I'm actually doing the work in the community, doing that stuff. So we'll make that happen. I want to talk more about the logistics of a Friday afternoon when this happens, because although as a society, I think we're becoming more loving and compassionate. We're not there yet, but we're on our way, I believe, right? As a race, and there's a stigma attached to I'm the kid that's getting the paper bag with the food for the weekend. There is, straight up. So
Right.
what logistically what happens, like how I'm not singled out and it goes, oh, there's that guy who needs, because there's shame and there's the piece to it.
Yeah, we're a couple of things. We're trying to not normalize hunger, but we're trying to help other kids understand what hungry is, right? So there's lessons around that which are being taught on a regular basis so that the kids are not mean, but we also pride ourselves on really being as discreet as possible, so the names are not public knowledge. So the one-on-one aid, if you will, during her break or prep time, will take the backpacks on a Friday and put them in a classroom because she knows Mrs. Smith's class gets 3 backpacks. She doesn't know the actual students.
Doesn't know who they are, right?
Right.
Is
And
there a
so
curriculum? Sorry, just one quick, because I want to get this point in too. Is there a curriculum you talk about not normalizing hunger, but educating around hungry being? So is there's some of that too that we're bringing into the district?
I think it's informally, so and because like I'm not an educator.
Right.
But we do offer tools. There's a book out there called Maddie's Fridge. It's a wonderful little text. I don't know the author off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But Maddie's Fridge, and it talks about food insecurity and how to be kind to people because you don't really know. You just said, it's you or it's me, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with. And when we get the children to understand that, there are some schools across the nation that you basically pick up a bag on your way out because that's what you need. And nobody even flinches, when you get to like middle school, it's a little tougher, junior high, tougher because, there's a much bigger stigma. But, when there's a first or second grader hopping up and down because they know it's Friday and their bag is coming, they ask about it. If it's a few minutes late, am I going to get my bag this week? it's a big deal, so we're discreet and, it's also embraced, we try to, it's the both end. And also too, it's like, it's not like the truck just shows up on a Friday morning and dumps bags.
Right.
We pack on a Tuesday, they get picked up, distributed, or brought to the schools on a Wednesday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then those bags over Thursday and Friday end up in the kid's hand, which is the biggest difference, if I could say anything about how Blessings in a Backpack is differentiated from like a traditional food bank or a church, food drive or something like that. Like for us to be able to put a backpack in a kid's hands directly, they're not dependent on a car, a parent, or anything else. We empower the child, and they get to bring that home, and then hopefully they have a guardian or parent that's there to support them. But if there's not, it's okay, because they can manage the things that are in that bag to get them to Monday.
Yeah. Maddie's fridge, by the way, best friends Sophia and Maddie live in the same neighborhood, go to the same school, play the same park. But while Sophia's fridge at home is full of nutritious foods, the fridge at Maddie's house is empty. Sophia learns that Maddie's family doesn't have enough money to fill their fridge and promises Maddie she'll keep the discovery a secret. Okay. The book is written by Lois Brandt. Check it out. I will be checking it out. I'm going to read it with my kids this weekend.
Yeah.
You are changing the world, Trisha and John. I appreciate what you're doing. It's incredible. Thank you for doing this. We have one more segment. When we come back, we're going to figure out how we can help and how we can be supportive of the work you're doing. We're just going to do a show one day. We're going to make it Tuesday. I'm going to come by. We're going to do this thing. There was one other question I had real quick. Even in district, you're serving 500 now. But that number probably was 499 at one point. It's probably going to go to 501. So are there kids that are in need? And
there's a wait list. There's a wait list about twice the size of what we're doing now.
Okay, folks, there's a wait list. So not only are they able, who makes that determination? Who decides who's getting there? We're going to go to break. We'll come back.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
All right, baby, welcome to the lightning round. Your boy, the one and only nonprofit sector connector, always wanted to be a game show host and apparently a crooner. I just, this part of the program is where, like, this is the entire show right now. Like, the whole show, I'm going to let you in on a secret, everybody. The whole show is how can we help the organization on the program. But if I started the show with, hey, there's two people here, how can we help them? That doesn't help. I have to get you emotional. I have to make you cry a little bit. I have to make you feel what impact that the organization is making. So then you say, I want to be part of the solution. Right on. Talk about the solution. I'm reading this little note from my friend Trisha, and it says, we are part of the solution, one belly at a time. There's a little mug around here somewhere, and it says, no big deal, just changing the world. Because, and that's actually what I think the kind of the theme behind the new thing that I'm going to do is going to be, is me going out and watching these organizations just change the world in real time. And we're going to do it on a Tuesday afternoon out here in Long Island. Out of breath. All right, let's do it. Trisha, how can we help? John, jump in as well. How can we help? Who do we connect with? Who do you want to meet? What's coming up? I know the casino night, which I got to be honest, I know it's sold out, but if I could sneak in the side door, I will. Because
You'll be there.
Because I'm kind of a big deal. I'll tell you all about it. So Trisha,
Got a spot for you, Tommy.
I figured you might. I figured so. All right, let's figure something out. Who can we hook you up with?
So one of the two main things we need, we have 40 volunteers. Many of them deal with the food itself. What we're really lacking is more people to do fundraising. We're dearly lacking someone to take the responsibility of the social media and graphic designer. We can't pay anybody, but it's got to be somebody good who wants to do it for free and wants to do it regularly, because we change the website regularly as we move from event to event. And then we need sponsors. The bigger the better.
So I want to interrupt real quick. I think I made the connection to the Nonprofit Resource Hub already, right?
Yeah.
All right. Gang, if you don't know the Nonprofit Resource Hub, go to nonprofitresourcehub.org. That is an organization that I founded with my business partner and 3 other partner firms, Serini and Associates, our friend Ken Serini and Kelly Ann Serini from Serini and Associates, our friend Allison LaFerlita is the executive director, but we also found it with David Goldstein from Sir Tillman Ballin and my friend Christine Deska and Frank Orzo. They run nonprofit sector strategies. Those are our people. Those are my partners. And that's the Nonprofit Resource Hub. I tell you, I want everybody else to hear about it, but John and Trisha, I know I made that connection. Let's get you out to an event and get you connected to because that's an incredible resource and community.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. So the other thing I want to just throw out there is, if you're doing anything for the volunteers, like an appreciation or something like that, I'd like to come by. My dad owns Ralph's Italian Ices. So if you're ever going to have like a big packing event or bigger than normal or something to recognize, I'd love to come through and just scoop some Italian Ices. I'm going to get one of those, like, maybe like a good human costume, like a white paper hat and like all this kind of stuff, because I think it's funny.
Brilliant.
Isn't it brilliant? I'm going to do it. Trisha, in your world, are there people, I saw their sponsors on the website.
Yeah, those are our regular partners who have really stepped up and been helping us, week to week, month to month, year to year. But it's like I said before, we're looking to expand, so the more people that can step up, we have a $22 a month commitment that's you don't even feel it, really just give up a cup of coffee once a week or something, that kind of thing, that and all the way up to really meeting the total need at Longwood, which would be, if we got to 1,000 kids at Longwood, would be incredible. Just incredible. That would drive the budget though to $200,000 a year, so $22 a month makes an impact, but it's not really where we need to be.
Right. Okay. So it would cost $200,000 to feed these 1,000 kids that are in need. So yeah. I'm not to bring out the pain, but what you're actually saying is 500 of these children are getting a pack and 500 who need it are not getting a pack. So that's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all over Long Island.
Yeah, right. So what do you think you might have said it before. What do you think? 65,000? Is that what you said, John?
Long Island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Long Island adults and children, or just children?
Just children.
Just kids. Yeah.
You know how difficult it is to pay attention? Well, I do. But you know how difficult it is to pay attention with a full belly?
Yes.
You know how difficult it is when you're hungry?
Yes. I do, actually.
You do. Well, Trisha does. You know what? Listen, whether my parents worked 2 jobs each when we were growing up, and certainly my wife and I hustle and do different things, this is Long Island, gang. It ain't easy to make it,
It's you know what, Tommy D, it is like, so on a personal note, my dad passed away when I was 7. So that left my mother as a single mom, and she worked 2 jobs, much like you named your parents.
Yeah.
we couldn't control our circumstance of her being a single parent, that was just the way it was. And so we just don't know, if there's a new baby born in a family that, takes mom out of work for 6 months. We don't know if it's the car takes a crap and, now they're down to one car, or the oil burner goes, or whatever. You just don't know what's going to land a family in a situation where they're choosing between putting oil in the tank and food on the table on the weekends, right? Yeah. And so that's, unfortunately, families lean into the free and reduce meals at school. They lean into that so much. And then on the weekend, that's not there. So that's where we step in. We're making a difference. We're part of the solution. I'm not like, I want to feed more babies, right? That's so it's my passion. It's my employment. I mean, it was a passion that became my employment. How lucky and blessed am I? That's crazy.
Listen, at the end of Willy Wonka, the Charlie and Chocolate Factory, he says, what happened to the little boy who got everything he wanted? He lived happily ever after, Trisha Ewald. You're living happily ever after. But again, it's not, you can't do it without people supporting you. You can't do it with the John Ammirati. It's getting out there and making it happen and bringing in saying, yo, listen, I got the mac and cheese. It's on me. I'll take care of that. That's what it takes. I need to make a quick shout out, and then we'll have to just let you share your information, how to get you and the whole deal. But the website is longwoodblessings.org, longwoodblessings.org. But I got to give a shout out to my friend Heather Edwards. Heather Edwards runs Allied Foundation. I don't know if you know Allied Foundation. Yeah. Allied Foundation makes sure that that babies have diapers and families diapers and wipes. They've given them like 3 million. This is Long Island based, gang. We're at home game today, but it's Long Island organization, 3 million diapers, because both diapers and period products are not covered by WIC and social service programs.
That's right.
People need these things. But I think there's this, because you keep saying babies, and all my friend Heather Edwards is always talking about keeping babies clean and dry. And every time you say babies, I don't have babies. I have kids at my house now. But when I'm hearing you say that, we need to all hook up. We need to jump on a call with Heather. Sometimes it goes crazy. I won't do it during a live show. But if we were doing a Zoom meeting right now, I would text her and go, can you jump on this meeting right now? And there'll be a day when I probably make somebody jump on while we're doing the show live. I'll just text them. But that's not the day. How do we get in touch with you, Trisha? How do we become part of your solution?
Longwoodblessings.org. Everything is right at that hub. How to contact us by email, a phone number, just make a donation, show up, give us a call. We'll tell you where to go and how to get there and how you can be part of the solution.
I love it. I'm going to be there. John, what do you have for us? Anything else?
Email give2lb@gmail.com. Anything goes through there, Trisha and I see, and we're happy to talk to anybody who has questions about today's show.
All right, we got to stop here because my friend Steve Fry's coming up, the SMB guy. I'm your boy, the nonprofit sector connector. Make it a great day. Hug people. That's my words for you today. Hug people. Later.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.